Libyan-Tunisian relations are long-standing between the two neighboring North African Maghreb states, Libya and Tunisia. Being the two neighboring Maghreb nations with Berber and Arabic heritages, the relationship between the two is friendly but sometimes rocky. Tunisia is known to have some issues with Libya, including political differences. Nonetheless, the two nations developed a strong connection, a part of their long, rich historical tie. Libya has an embassy in Tunis whilst Tunisia maintains a consulate in Tripoli. The Tunisian embassy has been closed since 2015 due to security concerns. Ever since Carthage started expanding into the Mediterranean, Tunisia has held control over Tripolitania for centuries under various dynasties and kingdoms who kept the region under their control. Both Tunisia and Libya were Islamized and Arabized upon the Muslim conquest of the Maghreb and later became part of the Ottoman Empire. During the latter's rule over the region, Tunisia showcased great influence over Tripolitania as it was appointing Tripoli's rulers who were loyal to the Hussanids in Tunis. It initiated wars to expel unwanted governors from power, such as the War of 1794 under Hamouda Pasha, which aimed at reinstating Yusuf Karamanli as the Pasha of Tripoli. Western Libya continued to have deep cultural and economic ties with Tunisia until the scramble for Africa began when France and Italy acquired control over Tunisia and Libya. In the 1950s, both countries regained independence and established relations when Libyan King Idris and Tunisian President Habib Bourguiba were the representatives for each country, respectively. Tunisia, where the Arab Spring began, later spread into Libya and overthrew the regimes of both countries. However, the 2011 Libyan unrest had gone out of control after the death of Muammar Gaddafi caused the later second Libyan unrest, which the growing Islamists tried to take control. Tunisia has been caught at the amidst of the conflict in Libya between the Tobruk-based representatives and the Tripoli-based National Congress. Tunisia's relations with Libya have been characterized as rocky, since the Ennahda movement party of the Tunisian government has shown to be sympathetic with Islamists ruling Tripoli, thus causing a drift between the two nations. However, the official Tunisian diplomatic stance is to remain neutral in the affairs of other Maghreb nations. Nonetheless, Tunisia has been a critical supporter for reconciliation between the two government factions in Libya. Alongside Egypt and Algeria, Tunisia also kept its borders open for Libyan and international refugees fleeing the war, accepting over 2 million Libyan citizens into the country in 2015. The two countries share 460 kilometers of border, designated by the Tunisian MOD as buffer zones with specified coordinates. Special authorization is required to enter these zones. Tunisia constructed a defensive line alongside its borders with Libya, a physical barrier composed of a system of obstacles, including sandbags protecting water-filled trenches dug about 2 meters deep, elevated observation towers, and fences. With the assistance of Germany and the US, Tunisia installed an electronic security surveillance along its completed barrier that spans almost half of the border's length. The surveillance system comprises unmanned aerial vehicle systems which are used to complement the camera-based security surveillance system. The remaining half of the borders south of Dahiba consist of a vast ocean of sand dunes which are monitored by Tunisian Army's GTS, Groupement Territorial Saharian, an army corps specialized in the Saharan environment, supported by aerial reconnaissance.